Hi there, I'm April Hebert. Looks like you're signed up for my 8-week online public speaking class. Get ready, it's fast-paced, and you'll need to commit to a fairly intensive schedule. You'll be creating and recording 4 speeches during our 8 weeks together. I've created this video to get you acquainted with the syllabus, show you how our class is structured, and how to move through the material in our Canvas shell so you can complete all your assignments. I always put the syllabus right on the home page, so there's no confusion about where to find it. It's always here. You'll see my contact information, although once the semester starts, the best way to contact me is through the Canvas inbox, which you can access right over here. This is our textbook. It does come with access to Norton Digital products. You should definitely sign up for those so you can access the ebook and some other resources, including some really good informational videos. There's a lot of great information and examples in the textbook that are going to help you understand the speech-making process. I don't have time in my video lectures to go over everything that's in the textbook, so you will need to read the chapters as I discuss them. So the best way to navigate through all the material in this course is to follow the information as it's laid out over here in the modules. I'll take you to the modules in just a few minutes, but let's continue looking through the syllabus. As this is an online class, of course, you're going to need a computer and internet access. And since you'll be recording your speeches, you will also need a camera with audio and video capacity. Most laptops have a camera that works fine. Or if you have a separate camera that you can use to record and upload speeches, that's good too. I don't really recommend using your phone to record unless you have a good phone stand for it, because it needs to be stationary. You can't just hold it. And you'll also need access to Microsoft Office, which as a student you should already have, so you can create outlines and visual aids for your speeches. I'll leave it up to you to read this course description and learning outcomes. Let's move on to the assignments. Obviously, the major assignments in this class are going to be the speeches. You'll be presenting 4 of them, and you must complete all of them in order to pass the course. The first speech you'll be giving is due in the first week. It's an introductory speech where you tell us a little bit about yourself. Then the next speech is an informative speech. In that one, you'll discuss a topic that's related to your field of study and inform us about it. The third speech is a persuasive speech in which you find a topic that deals with a local issue. You'll be giving what we call a problem-solution speech, in which you address the scope of the problem and provide a possible solution to that problem. The final speech is also a persuasive speech. It's a particular type known as motivated sequence, in which you attempt to convince the audience to take a particular action. I go into much more detail about the requirements for these speeches on their assignment pages, but as you can see, they all have particular time requirements you need to adhere to, and they all have different point values associated with them. One important requirement is that you need to have an audience for each of your speeches. A public speech doesn't work if there's no public to observe it. The department has set the minimum number of audience members at 5. I understand that might be an issue for you, so I do allow you to have less people in your audience, but I have to deduct points depending on the number of audience members you have. And no, your pets or stuffed animals don't count as audience members. You're going to need speaking outlines for every speech except the first one, although you probably need some notes for that one. I explain how to create outlines and give examples that you can use as templates. The book also has some really good examples of outlines. You'll be doing peer reviews of other students' speeches. So you'll need to look at and comment on 2 other students' speeches for every speech that we do. I'll show you how to access those. And you'll also be evaluating yourself after every speech, so you can review what you did well and what you still need to work on. There are a few discussion boards you'll also need to post on. One is during the first week where you just briefly introduce yourself to the class. And the other 2 are where you'll need to post your informative and persuasive speech topics so I can approve them. There are also 4 quizzes associated with the chapter, so you'll definitely need to make sure to watch my lecture videos and read the chapters. I do have quiz reviews for each quiz, and you can find those in announcements. You have a couple of extra credit opportunities, including working with a librarian who can help you find sources for your speeches or a tutor who can help you organize them. You'll get 10 points for working with one of those for each speech. And there's an optional plagiarism tutorial that's worth 10 points as well. If you get an A on either your informative or persuasive speech, you have the opportunity to participate in our semi-annual public speaking festival. If you decide that you want to do that event, you don't need to do the final motivated sequence speech and you'll get full credit for it. So that's something to keep in mind. I'll reach out to students who I think might do well, but you can also contact me if you're interested. Then there's a whole list of course expectations and other important information that I expect you to read carefully. If you have any questions about any of the information contained in this section, please feel free to ask me for clarification. And at the bottom of the page is the course summary with all the calendar events listed in chronological order. Okay, now that we've gone over the syllabus, let's take a look at the modules so I can show you how to navigate through all the course material. We're going to click on the link right here, and that takes us to the modules page. Module 1 is all the things you need to accomplish in the first week of class, including this discussion page I talked about earlier, and all of the information that you're going to need to put together your 2 to 3 minute introduction speech. Go through all this information consecutively and you should be able to put together, record, and submit your first speech. Then, starting with Module 2, you get into the textbook material. This module gives you the basics of speech communication in the first 5 chapters. Then there's a quiz associated with that material. If you've registered with Norton, you will be able to access the ebook and any resources associated with them by clicking on these chapter links right here. In Module 3, let's move that up, you start planning and putting together your informative speech. This is a really big module because you learn the whole process of speech making, including determining your topic, researching, writing, organizing and outlining, practicing, and delivering the informative speech. There are 2 quizzes associated with the material in the chapters here, and then all the information that you need to put together your informative speech. Now in Module 4, this is all about persuasion. By this point, you know how to put a speech together. Now you're going to apply that knowledge to the art of persuading people to think, believe, or do something. Quiz 4 is in this module, and you'll put together and present your persuasive speech right here. Module 5 is the final speaking assignment, the motivated sequence speech. All the info you need to put this speech together is contained in this module. There's no quiz associated with just the speech information. So you should have everything you need to be successful in this course here in the modules. Now let's head back to the home page. Hopefully, this little tour has helped you understand how the class is set up. If you follow the modules and keep your eye over here on the to-do list, you'll know what's coming up and you should do well in the class. Public speaking can make people feel a little nervous, but I try to make my class a supportive environment where everyone feels like they can succeed as a speaker. I'm looking forward to working with you in this class, and I'll see you soon.